This is the after chapter discussion for 10.12H. I think everyone here knows how these work, so I'm not going to go over etiquette and all that. We'll just start us right off by going into general impressions for the chapter. So if you have any parts of the chapter you really loved, any scenes you loved, anything you wished you'd seen more of, anything you didn't like, that kind of thing, let's just get it out in the open here right at the beginning. And any other general impressions you guys have. I'll start us off, and Ederon, if you want to give your general impression next, that would be great.
I'd
But
love
for
to.
me, this was definitely a 9 out of 10 chapter. The horns. It was the horns. Yeah, the horns. I love the horns, especially
Done.
because Kolth is part of the horns now, and so that automatically makes, it makes them just so much better now, just because Kolth is there. It'll keep making them better forever and ever. Anyways, I love this chapter. It was really cool. I know quite a few people. Well, there's some people who had a bit of a problem with some of like Floss's actions and how he got rid of Pisces class and the circlet, and how that kind of it felt like it was a little abrupt. But I think that really demonstrated who Floss was as a person. And we'll get into that more later on, but overall, just an amazing chapter. I
You
can't
have a
wait to
special
see.
moment that
Yeah.
was.
I know I said the Colt is my favorite character ever, and I love him, and yeah. But my favorite part of the chapter actually was Pisces summoning creating something that gave Floss pause for a moment there.
And he does not know what it is.
Yeah, he doesn't know what it is yet, but it really that scene was really just amazing, and I really, really, really want to know what it is. So I love that. Other than that, the Kolth like doing the imitation skill, I love that he has that, and it's really cool for a supporter. So yeah, it's great. It's great. I loved it. What about you, Ederon?
Yeah, I can just agree. 9 out of 10 is perfect. I would say as well. I pretty much loved everything about this chapter except that Kissenbar wasn't there, but that's alright. I don't even know where to begin. So much happened. I liked how Pisces lost his class. You already said there were some people who weren't happy with it because Pisces didn't do that much, but it just showed how fucking badass Flos is, in my opinion. And actually, my favorite part of the chapter was just at the end. Obviously, I don't want to call it a fight, more like a struggle. I prove myself, flailing around. Yes, of the horns. I know they shouldn't have been able to put up a fight, but I was a bit disappointed that they got pushed around so hard. I just had an wombo combo happy feet video in my head after Yvlon got the 1-2 combo with the kick and then the shield bash from behind, and the whole struggle was awesome. Pisces, obviously, Pirate is setting up something big there for Pisces. That is gonna be the next 6.66 oh god what the fuck moment, and we just got a setup for that, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I do think it's really appropriate that
Yeah.
that the horns weren't able to match up to to the 7. Like,
There are like 20 levels above them at least, and
yeah.
fighting experience. These are trained warriors who do nothing but fighting.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know, but I'm still disappointed. I don't know. It's just you, the horns are our heroes, you know? They're main
Mhm.
characters, and they just got kicked around like puppies. It was, uh, but they will grow.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to see what will happen to them in the hero place. Like,
Hmm.
obviously, I don't actually expect any of them to become heroes. If anyone is going to become a hero, it will be um one of the secondary characters that isn't the horns. I don't think any of the horns really um exemplify what a hero is really.
But they're gonna learn. They're gonna
Yeah,
learn stuff. It's gonna be getting even closer to that named rank.
yeah,
And yeah.
it's going to be amazing.
Hmm.
All right, is that all you have,
That's
Edward?
all I have for
All right,
now.
let's get to everyone in chat then. Sir Bear, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I really like. I really like the chapter. It was great. Made a lot of things that were logical. It made sense and all of that. I had a bit of problem with the Jagged met, but I think we will talk about that later. It it was really a great chapter that showed a lot of things. A good 9 out of 10, as always.
Yeah, it's great to hear that you thought it was a 9 out of 10.
Do you
You're
have something that a special moment in the chapter?
Uh, I, I think it would be probably the Flos slavery scene with
Oh.
with Pisces. It's probably my favorite moment in all of
Hmm.
that.
Yeah, that was an excellent scene, honestly. It
Yeah,
was I can't wait
the
until
imagery like the water, the chain, the 5 tower,
yeah,
Flos not giving a F and doing all of that.
Yep.
yeah. He truly showed he is he's floss. He's floss.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to describe it. He's
Yeah,
just lost.
yeah. He's floss. Alright, thank you, Sir Bear. I know that most chapters aren't 9 out of 10s for you, so this chapter must have been really good. Really good. If you liked it this much. Bleach Soul, you were up next.
Yeah, I don't know how to rate this chapter. I really liked it. I liked like so many things. There's the only thing I didn't like is the slavery scene. To be quite honest, I thought it was very easy for Pisces to get out of these chains after like what a volume and a half struggle. Like he didn't do anything. I really hoped he would like do something. Like Beric has removed his slave class, so I think he should have struggled like. He should have struggled at least like yelled or something or try to get I mean with the help of Flos to get his own chains up. I thought it was very cheap way for Pisces to get rid of his class. On the other hand, I really loved the breaking of the circlet scene. I think the circlet will regenerate, but it lost the soul that inhabited. I also liked, the confrontation Yvlon with the king and the following. Yeah, but there were so many cool moments. Actually, I really liked so many things um, about it, except the slavery scene. I thought it was very cheap, to put it
Could
lightly.
you could you give us an? I mean, it's hard. Obviously, I don't want to put you on the spot, but you said he should have done something. I mean, you mean just fighting together with Floss to get rid of the
I mean,
chains,
yes,
or?
yes, yes. I mean, like when he was in his inner self, like he
Hmm.
should have yelled, "I don't want to be your slave" or something, or did something instead of just staring and doing nothing. Because
Hmm.
it should have been like his fight too, not only Floss coming and and pulling him all up by himself. He should also have helped. At least did something. I mean, my critique is not like that Floss has broken his chains. My critique is that
That he
he has
just was
broken his
there.
chains without any help from Pisces. Pisces should have
Hmm.
been like the instrument of which Flos breaks his chains, not just a
Or even
watcher.
guided him to break his own chains.
Yeah. I mean, he did something. He didn't do anything. That was
Yeah.
disappointing to me.
I can totally understand that.
I will say though that I think the fight is more in like Pisces himself has kind of overcome the whole slave thing, and over time I think part of the fight is more just helping the rest of the people he was with slavery and getting them out of slavery.
I mean it was a good opportunity for him to deal with his trauma and get rid of his both physical and mental chains once and for all. And he just stood there.
Well, we'll come back to this. We do have a question about this particular thing, so we'll come back to this and talk about it more in a little bit. Thank you, Bleach Soul. Let me just read out some of these comments now, and then we'll go to Mr. Europe. Coolie Man says Floss loved it. He's all for moments like that. The 7 are also main characters. Kainia says, love the chapter all around. Might be my favorite in this volume so far, but I do like Floss as a character in general and found all their interactions fun and interesting. All the present horns also had their good moments. Maybe I would have liked a bit more interactions with Trey, but there might be more later if he is also traveling with the horns. Oh yeah, I'm sure Trey is going to be, he's one of the main characters we know of in this arc, and so I'm sure we'll see more of him. Actually, I'm like somewhat thinking he might be one of the person chosen for hero, but maybe
not before Teresa dies. I've been saying it for like at least 1.5. I don't know, for years now. Teresa is not gonna be at the end of TWI. She's gonna die, so her brother can step up. And I mean, you know how she behaved. Again, she's just murder hoboing. She's just, I don't know. She is not gonna survive.
She's very war hungry at this point. It certainly seems so. So I don't know. She has some issues. She definitely. I hope she gets some more development away from the whole glory hog thing, because I don't like her as is. But it's not like I don't like her because of her character. It's just like I don't like that kind of character. But yeah, thank you, Kindness. Mr. Natromo says, great chapter. I'll give a special shout out to the comment. Colt giving Pisces suspicious looks because of stellar ivory. The horns trashing the Westrom carriage at the possibility of getting loot. Hilarious. I'm very willing to agree with you, Mr. Natromo, because your name is Mr. now. I like it. I like it.
Oh my goodness.
I like it. It's great.
All misters are overrated. Calling it now.
Around, how dare you? Anyways, yeah, Colt, the whole comment scene was hilarious. But I do wonder about like the timing of that comment. Like, obviously, this is not a real meteorite type of deal. Like this, a meteorite should not have like a bunch of ores like this, like adamantium and stuff like this, just pouring out of it. It's kind of weird. And it's like, is this kind of like an event type deal that the gods just made at the very start of the world to have like random comets just come down full of super ores? It's kind of weird. I'm wondering if like it was the product of a skill, or if it really is just something that was designed at the very start and has been happening for a long time. Morchen says, I actually thought the fact that Saria held her ground against Amaris with the help of a water pitcher shows she doesn't need the circlet anymore. She didn't really hold her ground. Let's be real here. She just stopped Amaris for a little bit. And she stopped Amiris for a small amount of time. I wouldn't call that holding her ground. Clayman says, well, they've got no idea how other galaxies work, so that sounds very likely. Wiggles, yeah, you're absolutely right, Quilly. Sir Barry says, oh yeah, the foreshadowing with the water bubble test was great. And Tina says, I'm calling them meteorite instead because comets are mostly ice. Yeah, it's not a comet, it's a meteorite. Comets are a little different, but it's mostly just semantics. Mr. Europe, you wanted to speak.
Yes, I really enjoy these chapters. They're really great. I actually loved the whole the Pisces slave class just got removed and that the circlet was broken. I thought it was great. I'll get into it more during the questions, but it just feels like the kind of thing where you encounter a character arc encounters Flos, and this is what happens. It's like if we followed Jewel, the little adventurer who reached gold rank, and then encountered Aaron Solstice and just completely changed the course of her career. It feels like the same kind of vibe. I really enjoy it. I'll say I'm really looking forward to Teresa becoming the only hero to come out of this. Not just to troll people who don't like it, but also because heroes are repeatedly said to never be particularly happy. And I think it would be fun if she got her glory, like got everything she wanted. Just fucking sucks.
I liked how you talked about Flos. It's I think you're kind of right. It's like, I don't know, the day the Horns met Flos was the day their life changed forever, and for Flos it was just Tuesday. I I kind of like that mindset.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Europe. Let's get to Improbable Bob says comet/meteorite being a chunk of the world that got blasted in the God War seems like a reasonable theory to me. Maybe. It's just interesting to think about like how a comet comes about when we know that other celestial bodies are kind of fake. But yeah, thank you, Improbable Bob. And last but not least, Red Ink Quill, you wanted to give your general impressions?
Yeah, I really like this chapter. I really like the festival after the battle, how, like, they're just giving out weapons and ice cream, and there's like music, and like even the musicians are like crazy good. I thought that that Flos taking away Pisces slave class was good. I didn't know any other ruler that could have done it better in Chandrar, who would be more epic to do it. I thought that the criticism that Pisces didn't take it away himself. Well, if he could take it away himself, he would have already turned into a rebel, like back when he first rebelled. So he needed help, and it wasn't just like a slave class; it was a slave class with the whole weight of Rashal behind it and all the 5 slave lords or whatever. So I don't think it was. I don't think Pisces let us down. I think he's really developing his necromancy and his bravery going against the 7. I think this is like a top-notch chapter, and I'm looking forward to seeing the next arc, the training arc. We'll see what Yvlon will do with her dreams now that she's not doing push-ups with Mersha anymore. you know.
Yeah. Thank you, Red Ink. And actually, let's just, since everyone wants to talk about the Pisces slave scene, let's just move on into that question right away. Let me read off Bleach Soul's comments. Yvlon should have bought 30 shields and sold 28 of them at a higher price. Shame that Pisces will not train with Death General. Yeah, that would have been cool. But anyways, let's just move on right away into our first question, which is, do you agree about how Flos half broke the circuit and how Flos decided to remove Pisces' slave class? Both of these scenes, I have seen a little bit of contention around them, really. And in terms of a lot of people not a lot of people, some people have seemed to think that it cuts off the storyline, or it was very abrupt, or it doesn't give Pisces and Saria a chance to really work through their issues themselves. So what do you guys think about this? Do you agree that this was the right move? Was it a good move from Paradeba? It doesn't even need to be meta like that. Do you agree with it in character too? In the greater story. And what do you think, Adoran?
Yes.
Yes? Do you have any
I
opinion?
I do.
Okay.
I said it again. I liked how Floss came in and just. I mean, it's kind of meta, but he just destroyed those plot lines. Like, I've already my short term memory. Sometimes I already forgot who said it, but it's just the Floss thing to do, to just come in, see stuff that he doesn't like, and like change people's lives just by being there. And him just taking on all the might of Reshal, especially when he's just having all these fights and talks with Trey. I think it's it's awesome to see him define, to show defiance, because they will know that Floss did it. I mean, it was hinted that people know who tries to tamper with the chains in this place, and etc. etc. And Rashal probably does know right now that Floss just defied all of them alone. And this could be a plot point later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything that Floss has done recently with Roshal has basically pit him against them in a lot of ways. And this is just another issue between him and Rochelle. And I think these kind of issues are going to keep building up and building up until Floss, can't refuse Trey's point of view. He can't just look away anymore. And I think that's really good in terms of actually dealing with Rochelle, because Floss is probably the one person on Trandrar, or not Trandrar, on Chandrar, that can possibly deal with Rochelle in the long term. Other than that, I do like how Floss did both of these actions. It kind of shows who Floss is in a lot of ways. He's someone who it kind of actually explains why people follow him in many ways. He does. He sees some injustice before him, and he immediately decides to try and undo it, regardless of the cost. And it's like, okay, that can harm people, like it harmed Saria. So you can say that even in Saria's case, she's going to get more benefit out of it than anything else. But it can also help people a lot, like in Pisces' case. And I think it really helps to kind of illustrate Floss's charisma and his power and why people follow him. Anyways, any other thoughts, Adoran?
Not for now.
Okay.
I agree.
Let's just move on to the comments then. Quillyman says, yes, no elaboration required. I get it, Quilly. I get it. Kainia says, there's still a chance there was a trick with Saria's Trickster of Crowns class and the circlet powers, but I'm okay with it either way. I'm also okay with the slave part. That also served as development for Floss, I think. What was... Oh yeah. Okay. So Trickster of Crowns. I really don't think this was a trick on Seria's part. Like this would have to be a trick that um, tricked Floss. It tricked Amaris. It tricked her entire team. It tricked so many different high-level people at once. It tricked the healer too. It's like I don't see it. I don't see it as a trick right now. It doesn't make sense to me as a trick because all of these people would have had to have been blind to what she did, even after trying their hardest to see if she's okay and studying her and watching her. And it just doesn't seem like it's an actual trick.
Nope.
Whimsical Banana says Floss will probably go against Rochelle with the legendary quest drops. Maybe. Now let's go to Mystical Pie. They say, I'm happy for the characters. I do think it's in character Floss. For Floss. For Saria, the way things were going, I think this was the only way to get her to try and stop relying on the circlet. And it does look like there's potential the circlet could regenerate. For Pisces, though, I'm not quite sure how I feel. Realistically, I don't think there's any other monarchs that would actually be capable of removing his class except maybe the Hraace. But I think it would have been more narratively interesting if Pisces lost his save class as he finishes business on Trandrar. I also think the scene still works to show Floss's frustration with the slavery issue without removing Pisces' class. I don't know about narratively interesting for Pisces losing his class at the very end. It's not. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's really that important for him to lose it at the end of the arc rather than in the middle of the arc. For me, what's more narratively interesting is him going and helping his fellow ex-slaves. Like that's more interesting to me than whether or not he has the class.
Pisces, riddled with wounds, blood streaming from his face, standing defiant on the boat, passing out for a second while he's leaving Chandra, his slave class, removed.
Yeah. What a nice image, Edron. What a nice image.
Yeah.
All right. Morchen says, I didn't like how Floss handheld the circlet situation. Even though it might have been the right thing, I feel it robbed Saria of winning against it. But it was very much Floss. I liked Trey shit talking Floss. The class
Oh
can't.
yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was awesome.
Yeah. Trey has some attitude now. I like it. Morchen also says the class cancellation I liked. No questions asked. I also thought it was good how Pisces didn't fight. It just shows how bad / evil this Force class is. All right, thank you, Morchen. Let's go to Mr. Yup. You wanted to answer.
Yes, I think the slave thing in particular is very, like, I don't have any problems from any perspective. I think it's good that, like, I don't entirely like the idea of Pisces having a big triumph and removing his class like that. I don't think that's like, it was fine for Beric because he's like a side character, but that's not the struggle. Like, the issue isn't to remove your slave class. That's a side part. The issue is Rochelle needs to burn. Like, everyone else needs to be freed. And I think Part very much showed that in this chapter with the like, Flos went in, decided, fine, this is getting removed, and did his big thing, and like, fuck your story arc, I'm doing this now. And Pisces, like, it was this big thing with struggling against the slave master, and as soon as it ended, Pisces said, what about the rest? And that's the actual story arc. Like, it's not Pisces, as other people have said, Pisces has already struggled with his trauma and his whatever, like, with this. He's already gone through that and continues to go through that, and a class change I don't think that should be the big reward for that arc. I know Pirate has talked in other chapters about how it's not actually a good decision to have like the level ups come in at the end of a super dramatic and emotional moment and oh, your slave class, like, hey, here's your level up, nice game, you got a birdie. That's not how that's not how it like it robs the emotional stuff of it. That's not what we're talking about. The That's not the big thing at the end of Pisces' story about the slavery.
Yeah, that's that's a lot of how I was feeling about it too, Mr. Europe. It's much more about him going and finding his fellow ex-slaves and helping them, rather than this being the end of his slave arc. You know, the he still has wounds. The class being gone doesn't mean he's still just completely over it. It's just a part of him that can move on now.
That the start of the Mr. Alliance.
we're always aligned. Always, always, always. Any thoughts about what Mr. Europe said? Sorry, not Morchin. Edoran.
Nope, not right now.
Okay, Semu, you wanted to speak? Go ahead.
I can search for the next question.
Yeah.
Yes. Just like I agree with Mr. Europe for the most part. But what I wanted to add to that is basically what we've seen is that the single rulers in Chandra are against Pisces having his slave class removed, but they're still, even Flos is not ready to stand firm against the whole of Rochelle for every slave. And I think that's where we see that Pisces is aligning himself by chance and with Kolf, who is obviously anti-slavery as much as it gets, but also that's where Aaron and Pisces come together. I think that's where it's going towards. That Aaron is the one who's gonna be definitely gonna be standing against Rochelle as much as gets. We've seen it at the end of the last volume. That's she basically can't get out of that confrontation anymore with how the relationship to Rochelle has developed for her. So I think that's where Erin is coming into this whole slavery arc again for Pisces, that she will be one of the ones who will support him in that. That's all.
Oh, for sure. She will. I think Aaron will support him through everything, but against slavery, that's something that's like near and dear to her now. I think that's something she understands very well now, and will always try and support Pisces through. You know, and that reminded me just about the scene about how Pisces once again remembered how Aaron said, you know, he's better than other people. He's a better necromancer than other necromancers, and he can just be a better person. And I really love it whenever Pisces like remembers that and uses it to help him through situations. It's one of the best quotes for Pisces development, and he's really embodied it over time.
It also showed how close these two are, how long. I mean, Pisces is one of the first people that met Aaron in this world,
Yeah.
and how he instantly knows something is wrong. That's not Aaron on the scrying up over there. Something
Yeah.
is definitely up. He just picked it up immediately. These two know each other so well at this point, and are just good friends. And yeah,
If anyone could make Pisces into a hero, it's Aaron. Like, Aaron brings out the best in Pisces, basically. And it's always great to see. All right, Sir Bear, you're up next.
I want to talk a bit more about Syria and the circlet. I think Floss did a really good thing for that. Oh, maybe an ideal person would have probably asked Syria's teammate what they think about that, but Flos, Flos is Flos. It doesn't care. They do what they want. I like to compare to circlet to an athlete taking drug. Yeah, it makes you better, but you still become an addict at the end. So I think it was necessary to break the circlet to help Syria. But even though the circlet is not completely broken and that storyline is still alive in some way, shape, or form, it was a really good thing. For the slavery part, I think we saw with the previous chapter, this chapter, that Pisces didn't really want the class to be removed. I think. Uh, Obviously, Zappies is someone offered to remove the class, but every time it was called saying, "Hey, you should remove Pisces class. Hey, you should remove Pisces class," and saying all of that around. So I think it goes well with Pisces not doing action in the middle of the scene where Floss break the chain of Rochelle and all of that.
Yeah. I don't even think the circlet is truly broken. You know,
Yeah.
it seemed to be clear in the chapter that it wasn't 100% broken, and that there is still something there. There's still a way for it to be used, and I think part of Saria growing right now is to figure out how to incorporate the circlet into her power set without relying on it so heavily. It's kind of like um, Yvlon in Volume 6, where her arms were, they were being fixed up by Pisces, but at the end of the day, they were still very damaged, and she needed to lose one and to do something amazing for it to really be incorporated into her being and to get the silver steel arms. And I think that's kind of where Saria and this circlet are going now. There's going to be something that'll push her to use it better, to incorporate it more. All right, Bleach Soul, you're up next. Let's hear from you. Bleach Soul, are you there? All right, I'll just read Samu's comment out real fast.
Yeah.
Samu says, beyond the serious situation, the circle also bothered Floss. He felt watched. In his position, it is also somewhat logical to take care of that problem, or at least see if he could destroy it if necessary, to see how much of a future problem it would be if he let it live. Yeah, it's kind of a selfish thing that Floss did. He was thinking more about himself and how he wanted to deal with the situation rather than Syria at all. Bleach Soul, are you there? Alright, it seems like Bleach Soul is not there, so I think that's it for this question. Edrun, you said you were
Yes.
figuring out the next question, so go ahead and post it if you have it.
Already have.
Right, do you want me to read it?
Yes, please.
Okay. What will the Horns do against Perric's alternative facts? How will the Horns make High King Perric suffer? Slow death? Rusty spoon? Creler peace ambassador? Placed into a room with 24-hour recordings of Yvlon making small talk? Another public smear campaign? All right, yeah. That was certainly one of the grossest scenes
Mm-hmm.
I have ever read from a character. Like,
it was disgusting.
it really was. Just the depths of Perric's disgustingness to insinuate that he and he's married now to Yvlon and Saria, and to put
Mm-hmm.
it out there publicly, and then to release a statue of them in the nude, like on their knees in front of him. It's like, it's insane. It
Mm-hmm.
was one of the grossest plot lines or plots from a character I've ever read. I really hope someday Perric falls into a toilet and drowns. I hope he does. That would be
To
a
be
good way for him to go.
to be fair, stealing a crown from a king is like probably one of the worst thing they could have done, and they didn't even really. It was a joke to them, and a crown is a symbol of the king. A crown is so much, and it's absolutely disgusting. Of obviously, but like again, stealing a crown. Um, I think he is fucking mad and furious right now, and just didn't see any other way to fuck with those people, fuck with those two, and that's when he made his alternative events public.
Yeah, it's. I think he really did break a little bit. He broke in the head. He's broke in
Yeah,
the head. He really is. I kind of wonder how Perric is going to suffer in the future though. Like for real, like mm, it seems he's one of those characters that's just built to be hated, and I wonder if Pirate Abba will just keep him around forever just to keep teasing us with how much of a shit he is, or if they're gonna eventually kill him and give us the justice we deserve. I wish
I
to
mean,
see him
Floss would have
die.
just bitch slapped him just for liking the horns, you know.
Yeah.
That could have been funny.
It could have been. It could have been, but Yvlon, she had a good point that letting
Yeah,
letting Elena go, it might be worth more than just killing Perric. Maybe. It might be.
and many innocent people would have died.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it
You're
would
right.
have been a war, and people would have died
You're
just
right.
for, you know.
Hmm.
So maybe, but I like the idea with the rusty spoon or the crawler ambassador. Whoever who wrote that question, whoever did that, please raise your hands and get yourself a cookie.
I didn't write it, that's for sure. I have no idea who did. But yeah, he needs to die. Anyways, let's move on to the comments. Mr. Europe says, honestly, this made me gain respect for Perric. It says more about my previous level of respect than anything, but at least this shows he can be intelligent about being a petty asshole. Yeah, it does show why he's still the High King over several other kings in Medain. He is a petty asshole, but at least he has some intelligence to turn bad situations around and get them on his side. At least he has some intelligence. Quillyman says, absolutely hilarious. And it's wrong and terrible, but fucking hilarious. Yeah. It 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 is one of those scenes where it's just like disgusting, but at the same time it's really funny when you're on the outside of it. Morchen says that the king can't hold his crown jewels. He deserves the crown jewels to be stolen. Yeah. Let's steal his crown jewels. And his
Is
crown and jewels too.
is that an Aniando? I
Yeah,
guess
crown
it is.
jewels are your balls.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. Yeah, they're your balls. Anyways, Samu, you wanted to speak? Samu? Alright, I guess Samu isn't there, so we'll come back to Samu. Sir Bear, you wanted to speak?
Perric is truly an intelligent man. Let's think on all the thing he prepared, he thought about for this disgusting but at the same time magnificent plan. First, he made an interview with the part of Wisham News Network that's not going to insult him, protest him, that's going to respect him in some way. Because otherwise, Jesse will insult him, while Silver can no ass respect her majesty and all of that. Next, everything the Orn can do now doesn't work. The only solution right now is to kill Perric, and Perric is waiting for them. That's the only solution, because if they told the crown the toilet, Perric won't care, or will make a joke about, oh, my cousin take, I need a new crown. We are just joking around. He can make a great image and all of that. He's a piece of shit, but he can make a great image out of that, of all fans and game and royalty shenanigan. Because obviously no one is going to see those contracts. So the only solution is the death of Eric, and obviously it's a bait. It's a beautiful play. Obviously, he's going to die in an humiliating rate. Probably is choking from a spit from Speedy, like Telecan did. But
Yeah, it's actually a well thought out plan. It really was a well thought out plan by Perric, just to try and get back at the horns. It's beyond petty. It's really gross, but it was well thought out and it was executed.
And he had to do that to save his life, because, as the narration said, and I don't remember who else said it, a king who loses his crown is going to die. He's going to be assassinated. So yeah, he had to save face.
Yeah, he has a bunch of lower kings below him too. So there was a real possibility that if he didn't do something like this, he
or a
would die.
noble, or another adventurer, or anything else really.
Yeah, there's a Medane probably is not the most stable right now. Edoron, do you have anything to say?
Not right now. Nope.
Okay. I see the Samu, you're back. Did you want to speak, Samu? If not, we'll go on to the next question.
I did, but I don't know what's been spoken so
Okay.
far, so I will pass on this one for now.
All right, sounds good.
Speak later again. Okay.
All right, thank you, Samu. Edoron, do you have any question you want to get to? Otherwise, I'll pick one.
Pick one, please.
Okay. So this is like a combination question.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts about the new revealed hero place? Do you expect to find out why Rabbiteater didn't get the hero class in Hraace? Do you expect that you'll agree or disagree with the reason? And will the Heromakers have something to say about the Blighted Kingdom gaining 1,000 heroes in a short time? So this is basically a question about the new place we've learned about Hraace. If you have any thoughts about it, just this is the time. I don't think we've ever heard about Hraace before. I'm trying to think. I'm almost certain we haven't. Like even hints at the place. Like I can't remember anything that's really been said about it. We have seen in the past that Chandrar, unlike any other continent, does have a hero today, Zethi.
True.
Which is unique compared to every other continent besides Rahir. But Rahir kind of, Rahir kind of cheated in a way. But anyways, it does, so that does lend credence to heroes being something Chandrar has. But I'm very interested to learn about Hraace, because if they're able to pump out heroes, why haven't we seen any? So that makes me think that no, they can't pump out heroes, and heroes are definitely something that even if Hraace can make some, it's something that only happens very, very infrequently. So then the question is, why does Flos not have heroes in his armies? Because Hraace did support Flos in the past. They were one of the first people apparently who supported Flos.
Hero?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe I forgot about that part.
No, it was revealed this chapter. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, could be. Maybe I've overread this part. But what is more interesting to me is that the Horns are gonna send to a place where Flos himself trained when he was young, and it's, for me, it's just another step for the Horns to grow, to get even closer to being the name rank powerhouse that they're gonna be someday, and it's just a another training arc maybe for them.
Yeah.
And this is my opinion to that place, to be honest, because I don't think that any of them are like hero material. Maybe Syria can find a way because she feels that inadequate to get something from that place to help her catch up to the others. Maybe Pisces can train whatever skill he just like hinted at, or his creation he hinted at. We will see, but I think it's just gonna be an awesome training arc for the Horns.
Honestly, I see this Hraace as being one of the major parts of the Horns arc in Chandrar. Like, it seems like it's being set up as somewhere they're going to spend quite a bit of time. I'm kind of wondering, like, how it's going to work. What are they going to do there? How are they going to evolve? And
But December isn't there.
yeah, Kissimver, I
Mm.
mean, Kissimver, of course. Kissimver and Vofia, of course, just can't be there. And they have their own, little evolution they can go through in Belarus, but I do think if anything can solidify them as like a named ranked team, this little training arc can.
Yeah, maybe. To be honest, I honestly thought that the gauntlet that they had in the Crossroads would do it
Yeah,
instead
but
of like a training camp, but we will see.
that was them leveling up a lot. But I think they need to like solidify their teamwork, solidify who they are, and work together better. And if this race can do that, if they can train them to really work well together as a team and utilize their diverse skill sets better, I think that will really, really, really go a long way to getting them to named rank. Especially if Pisces can realize that undead he wants, if Saria can figure out the circlet and incorporate it, and if Yvlon can finally become a better dreamer, can incorporate her dreamer into her silver steel arm mistress. Anyways, I think we've
Comment.
spoken enough. Let's
Hmm.
go to chatters. Mr. Europe, you wanted to speak?
Yes. I think it's pretty obvious. Like the whole hero thing has been a question for like almost since volume 1, volume 2, something. Volume 2 probably, but it's been such a big question with so many different hints, so many like various comments on it. We know. I remember when Fetohep was releasing all of his revenants and stuff. He was going to raise heroes, and then he stopped himself in the middle of saying, like, we're going to get some heroes up in here. And then he stops and says, oh, actually, that's just too much of a hassle. We're not going to do that. So it's like so many different hints about all of this. And at this point, if we don't get the answer in Hraace, Pirate is actively torturing us. I think we're
Yeah.
going to get the answer, find out the Rabbiteater thing, like get the whole 9 yards, and I think it's assuming that it's been an answer that Pirate has thought of already quite a while ago.
This is pretty much the perfect place to learn about Hero. We've never had any situation where learning about what makes a hero works more narratively than right here.
Yeah. And I stand by the idea that Teresa is going to become a hero, and maybe of the horns, if anyone, it's probably, I would say, Pisces. That's my dark
Teresa a
horse.
hero?
Yeah.
Maybe the hero in a coffin.
Yeah, Pisces feels like I feel like the heroes in Wandering In, especially based on the hero of the Doubt guy, that they are the kind of people who don't have a lot of ego and are still like kind of sad, tragic characters. And I think Saria, like Yvlon, kind of fits that. Uh, Kolth is too hate filled for rightful reasons, and Pisces is like kind of fits that.
I think if he becomes a necromancer hero, I think Escaresh would like marry him. He would be so hard fanboying over Pisces. If that is going to would happen, it would be funny to see.
Yeah, see, you're also coming up with reasons why what I'm saying is correct.
Maybe I
Honestly,
should call myself Mr. Edoron.
do it. Anyways, I do agree with you, Mr. Europe, that of all the horns, Pisces is the one I see with the most heroic qualities. But I still don't think of Pisces as like a hero. But I don't see. Maybe if he took up the cause of anti-slavery, like hardcore, because I really feel like heroes need like a super big cause behind them that rallies a lot of people. And Pisces can have that if he focuses a lot on being anti-slavery, but I don't know. It seems like something that would be difficult to for Pisces to do fully because he does want to get to Aaron too. Anyways, Sir Bear, you're up next.
Oh god, the hero debate. As Quillyman said, reason why Rabbit can become a hero, only people can be hero, Goblin are not people, they go to hell. I don't think that question is going to be answered there because Rabbit is a goblin, and I doubt that place got information about goblin stuff. I think hero and goblin can only maybe be said by a goblin lord or the GDI, the grand design of I forget the name.
It's Tikhoneth.
Well, exactly. So I don't think that question is going to be answered there. It's a possibility. I could maybe them having some hint or information about that, but I don't think they will have the complete answer. Because obviously for the reason that Goblin goes well, which I doubt no one knows. And for I don't, and also I don't think that place just make evil. It has been mentioned in the chapter that the drummer guy, he is from that place. It, I don't know who said in the text. It was said you just have to trust the newcomer, don't you? Trust uh, AI Russian. So yeah, no, it was Morris that said that to the guy. So I don't think that place can necessarily create hero. Well, it can create hero material with knowledge, with skill, with training, and stasis chamber like Goku stuff. For the Arn, I agree that Pisces is the most like heroic of the bunch. Pisces has always been the guy that decided to help the other. Which some days he decided to hang out with Syria for no reason to help her. Um, Pisces decided to help Bounce in Wisham. at the beginning of the web serial, he always decided to put himself in danger to help Erin, protect her from the acid fly, send the skeleton to protect Erin against Skinner. This deciding to go back in with his teammate to save the people and fight the Creler. When they were running from Russian in Volume 8, Pisces deciding to fight the other slaver and help the other slave. Pisces has always been the guy to jump into danger and deciding to help people. And with this mention in this chapter, Pisces pretty much said to Yvlon, "I'm the craziest member of the Orn. Watch me." So yeah, I think Pisces is evil material.
We will see.
Yeah, we will. I do really want to see Hraace, though. See if they have any heroes. Because you're right. Madacium, the drummer person, did seem to be from there, and he didn't seem to be a hero. So it's like, how does it work? How is it all going to happen? And we'll see. Let me just read out some comments. Edoron, if you want to pick the final question.
All right.
I'll read out the last few comments for this one. Mystical Pie says, we don't really know anything about it, but I'm looking forward to what's going to happen. My only real thoughts are that I see no way that Teresa is deserving of a hero class, but what do I know? Baseless speculation is that it seems like the Pedagogia chooses to let in people with the potential to become a hero and trains them. The people that are deserving get the class. Yeah, it seems like if the Pedagogia says you can become a hero, you will become a hero. Flos was pretty adamant about that. So it must be that the Pedagogia says very, very few people can be heroes. Cooler Man says, reason why Rabbit can't become a hero, only people can be heroes. Goblins are not people, they go to hell. I really don't like that explanation. I don't think it's gonna be the one in the end. We'll see though, we'll see. Anyways, Edoron, last and final question.
Yes, it's just it was probably just a side mentioning, and maybe it's gonna be answered real quickly. It was my question. If you could read it out loud.
If Drathian are using cultivation, is there a difference to what the strongest is using? And was the concept of cultivation known before? So what did you mean by known before, Edoron?
Did we already know that there is cultivation in Inworld? If yes, Alright, then this question is already answered and I just forgot about it.
We did know about cultivation since I forget exactly when. I know in mid volume 8 there's some mention of cultivation and Drath from the UN Earthers. I remember that, and I think we met a cultivator briefly.
Then I kind of forgot about that part.
Yeah. It was very small mention. There it wasn't focused on very much, but yeah.
If you have another question, otherwise I just have also a little question for everybody. When Gravesong is coming out at the 30th, you think the next chapter will be a tie-in chapter to Gravesong, like Pirate did with the rewrite, the beginning?
Next Saturday's chapter?
Yeah, correctly. I mean, it ties in perfectly with the release of Gravesong. Almost perfectly.
Okay, so we do have that poll. We do have that poll. I don't know if you guys saw it, but we have a poll going right now that Pirate put up basically at the very start of this recording. And I don't think any of the poll options deal with any of them deal with Gravesong, but at the same time, the poll itself does not need to be written right away.
Just
So-
wanted to. I mean, Pirate did that for the rewrite of Volume 1, and we got the in chapter where Aaron like told everybody how it all started, and then we got the rewrite from Volume 1. And just thinking about Kira was mentioned again in this chapter, that the other Earth Girl wants to meet her again, and I thought maybe we are getting a Kira chapter before Gravestone is coming out to tie
Yeah.
everything in.
We might. That would be cool. I would like that a lot.
And I
Seeing
wanted
Kara
to
in
ask
the
the
main
others
series is good.
what you guys think this could be about. Because I haven't read Gravestone, I've been waiting for the audiobook. I want to hear Andrea sing, and I can't wait to start it at the 30th.
Yeah,
It's already
I'm
bought in my
sure.
Audible.
I'm sure a lot of
And-
people have been waiting for it for a long time,
Oh
especially
yes.
just because they haven't want to go through Yonder. Mr. Europe says vote MR3 plus 4, and Sir Bear says, well, there's a Rabbiteater and Seraphil option. I'm not going to dignify the MR3 comment. And Sir Bear, you're right, there is a Rabbiteater and Seraphil, but I'm not sure.
Wait, that's the MR3? Wait, what?
There's MR4 plus MR3 in the poll chapter.
What?
Yeah.
Alright, I know what I'm voting for.
It's losing by 300 votes.
Oh no!
So there's like no chance of it
My
happening.
name for years was that I was waiting for MR3.
I'm sorry.
I've been waiting for years.
I'm sorry.
And it's not gonna win. Pirate, don't do this to me. Fix the
Pat,
votes.
Pat.
Stop the count.
No.
Stop
No.
the count.
No stopping the count. All right, but I think that's everything, Edward.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any last thoughts? Anyone have
Nope.
any last thoughts?
I don't.
All right. This was a great chapter. Very good discussion. And it was the discussion for 10.12H. I hope you guys all liked the chapter, and I hope you all had a good time discussing it. I'm going to end the recording right now.